We have a major update for plans for WrestleMania after Cody Rhodes stepped aside for The Rock. What does Cody think about this whole situation? What do sources backstage think about this situation? And what the hell does Vince McMahon have to do with all of this? I'm going to tell you in this video. Before I do, though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Let's get right into it. So, this past Friday was a blockbuster show for WWE. SmackDown featured a segment at the end with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and what ended up being The Rock, where Cody said that he plans to face Roman for the title at some point, but it won't be at WrestleMania, foregoing his Royal Rumble earned main event at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, and instead allowing The Rock to be featured in that match, or so it would seem. Now, of course, there's a lot to take in here, and a lot of people are very disappointed in WWE's booking here, but according to FightfulSelect.com, they're not the only ones who are seemingly disappointed. There's a lengthy report by FightfulSelect.com, Sean Ross Sapp and Company over there, that says the following. Sources we spoke to said that Cody Rhodes was professional backstage around the situation, but probably seemed somber in retrospect now that many know what has happened. WWE had definitely taken note of posts that highlighted polls, dislikes on social media, and mainstream coverage. There's no way we can rule out the potential of being a work from the start or becoming one, but we'll continue to get reactions backstage. So, that's from FightfulSelect.com. Now, the interesting note from there is like that Cody seemed somber, and people like kind of think that, you know, if you're Cody Rhodes in this situation, like, you should be angry and you should tell everyone how angry you are, and you should make a ruckus backstage. And I know that is what some people believe is the right way to handle things. That's just not who Cody Rhodes is. If you've followed Cody, if you've interacted with you know, people who know him, one thing that becomes very clear is that Cody is just one of the most to-your-face professional people there is. Like, he if he signs a contract, he's going to honor it, and that's just how he is. He's professional. You might not like some of his views on things. You might not like the certain ways that he cuts promos, or he might not even be your cup of tea from a wrestler standpoint. But from a professional standpoint, there really doesn't get more professional than Cody Rhodes. So the idea that while he might be somber or just, you know, upset and disappointed, rightfully so, about the situation, that he would just be like, okay, this is my job. This is what I came here to do. This is what I'm doing. That does not surprise me in the slightest. Now, the report also does get reaction from people, other sources, I should say, backstage in WWE, with one high-level talent in WWE saying the following. This is a newer talent in WWE. You get the high-level talent in just a second. But a new talent in WWE says, quote, Dwayne is impossible to dislike if you meet him, and I think that a lot of what he's built himself on would be undermined by actually going through with him in something like this. If you listen to so many of the things he said, especially to people like me, it just makes me think that it won't happen the way it appears. So throwing a little bit of not a monkey wrench, but throwing a little bit of uncertainty to this WrestleMania plans, excuse me. Now, there was another quote from a talent that kind of echoed similar sentiments. Another talent said, if I know Dwayne, and like I think I know him, perception is very important to him, so I think the chances are high that he takes this head on, and addresses it in some capacity. And, you know, we've kind of been seeing this reaction and hearing this reaction. It doesn't surprise me at all. There was another quote from the Fightful report that also touches on something that I've touched on, that many people have touched on. That is that Vince McMahon did play a role in this, and not in the way that I think people think. Vince did not walk backstage and say, this is what's happening, or he did not tell Triple H this was happening. But if you look at the scandal, and the way things unfolded, the sex trafficking allegations against McMahon, and then the way they came out and how absolutely disgusting, vile, and shocking they are. WWE went from having a peak on Monday last week where that week where they announced this TV deal where everything seemed to be going great into the Royal Rumble, where they announced that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, would be serving on the board of directors for TKO. And then literally like days later, we learn not only is Vince McMahon being charged with sex trafficking, not only is this lawsuit coming out and saying that people in WWE knew about it, but on top of all of that, on top of the horrible nature of those allegations, Triple H comes out in a press conference on Saturday after the Royal Rumble and not only refuses to answer questions, but tells people to focus on the positives, and also shockingly saying that he has not read the allegations against McMahon. He's not read the lawsuit. And that is a horrible, horrible turn for your PR department if you're WWE. So there really is credence, I think, to the idea that this was done to get out of a bad PR situation and to not distract from the McMahon thing as long as you can, because it's going to come out. Like, there's going to be more to come out. I believe the lawyer for the defendant in this case the victim in this case actually said that there were more people who were contacting her to try to tell their story as well. So this might not be the only thing that comes out over the next few months. So given that, like, it would make sense that WWE would want to try to like distract from that as much as they could and be like, oh my God, look at this great moment. We just created a moment. Everyone look here. Focus on the wrestling, focus on the positive, because that's what they want to do. And separate from that too, like I think there was a note in the report. I don't have the exact quote pulled up, but someone said something along the lines of, WWE in this case would rather seem incompetent rather than horrible and like, as far as like helping McMahon do these things or having these things happen under McMahon's watch. They would rather be seen basically as people who are inept at booking and making sense of their stories than people who are malicious in allowing the Vince McMahon things to happen. So that's where we stand right now. There are some people who are talking about Cody Rhodes' contract. As far as I know, he has not signed. As far as I've heard, as far as what's been reported, he has not signed. Whether that changes or not, we will see. But I think that everyone and their mother basically expects Cody to re-sign with WWE. I think they even had a contract drawn up. If you, some reports actually said that, or some people had said that. So I mean, look, we'll see what happens. I think there's a 99.99% chance he stays with WWE. That 0.001 is just because it's professional wrestling and anything can happen. You never know. One thing I do know is you'll feel a lot better once you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be sure to keep it real. Bye.